What's going on, everybody? This is Lady Luck here again. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Oh man, we have an update on the Macron case involving Candace Owens and the First Lady of France, Brigitte Macron. But before we get started, first of all, I need you guys to smash the like button like you've never smashed it before. And subscribe to the Lady Luck Club. 68% of you are enjoying this great content, but you have somehow forgot to hit the subscribe button. And when you hit subscribe button, make sure you do the drop down notification bell to receive all notifications on the great content coming out of the LLC. Also consider becoming a member and make sure you stay tuned for the products that are tagged in the description of the video for the Dr. Squatch products that we are partnered with. I do receive a commission on those sales, and those products will be tagged. You must purchase the products tagged in order for the Lady Luck Club to receive the commission. It goes back to the expenses of the channel. Let's get to it. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Do y'all remember this video here? This is Candace Owens, crying out to the heavens or to Trump, to try to silence the Macrons against a lawsuit here. So let's check this out right quick.
Then you have a literal European leader that is basically saying F you to the American Constitution, right? Emmanuel Macron and Brigitte are saying, you know what? We don't like that podcaster in America. And we are going to launch a lawsuit that's never been launched before, an unprecedented lawsuit to impoverish her for speaking. And both J.D. Vance and Trump have not issued a statement. In fact, where are the journalists even asking them to make a statement? Okay. A state leader is speaking about your constituent and launching a lawsuit and saying you're going to impoverish them for executing their First Amendment right. Where are you?
Let's not forget, Candace Owens is waiting on a summary judgment or some form of judgment or ruling from the High Court of Australia regarding a visa ban. She is spending money on attorney's fees to fight a visa revocation. And the High Court, the highest court in Australia, okay? That would be equivalent to the United States Supreme Court here in the U.S. The High Court of Australia is going to be making a decision, a final ruling, a summary judgment on her appeal regarding her visa on October 15th, 2025. That's this upcoming Wednesday. Candace, how much are you paying your attorneys to fight that case over water? That has nothing to do with the U.S. at all. You're sitting here taking the immigration minister to the court, to the highest court of Australia, because he revoked your visa. Do you realize to them you're an alien and they don't have to let you in the country? I can't say this without laughing, because we're so prone to saying that here in the U.S., we don't want any illegal aliens here. Yeah, what happens when we go to other countries and then they call us illegal aliens? The hypocrisy of it all is staggering to God above and everything on earth and probably in hell, Candace, for you now to sit here and decry, oh, they're trying to silence my political speech over there because they won't give you a visa. Never mind all the money you're spending in attorney's fees for that case, an appellate case that is in the High Court of Australia. But you want the President of the United States or the Vice President to say anything about the French President and the First Lady of France, Brigitte Macron, a woman you have said was born a man, will die a man, despite the fact she gave birth 3 times, despite the fact she's over 70, despite the fact that she has grandchildren, she has a family, she has people that love her, people that know her to be a woman, she was married before, all the evidence they've sent you, the fact that they're going to present scientific evidence to prove that as well. You want the president and the vice president to come to your aid while you're wasting dollars, millions of dollars on an appeal in the High Court of Australia, because they won't give you a visa so you can run over there and run your damn mouth. The hypocrisy is staggering to me.
If you are Trump, the first thing you should have done if you purport to care about America and our Constitution as you're supposed to be the person that's defending that day in and day out, you would come out and you would say, I don't even know whether I believe that she's a man or woman. Doesn't matter, right? I didn't watch the series. Fair. He didn't watch the series.
He did. He called you and told you he believed that she's a woman. Can you knock it off for calling her a man? We're trying to make things happen on a global scale, girl. And I'm going to tell you what your attorneys refuse to tell you. Please shut the hell up. Why won't her attorneys tell her to shut the hell up again?
He could even say, like he said to me on the phone, that I looked at her real close on the Eiffel Tower and it looked like a woman to me. Okay, you can say all those things.
Yeah.
But you should say it's unacceptable. I'm a leader of this country. It is unacceptable that this leader would threaten the First Amendment in any way. We don't need...
He's not threatening our First Amendment. He's not threatening it at all. You and your attorneys are sitting here telling the court they don't have jurisdiction over the matter when you, Candace, filed a lawsuit in the Superior Court of Delaware against USA Today. How did that case turn out for you, Candace? I read the lawsuit. I went over it. You lost. You lost. You failed to state a claim. You failed to meet your burden regarding malice intent. Candace, you lost. And that case was heard in the Superior Court of the state of Delaware. Now you're sitting here wanting the president and the vice president to intervene again after the president allegedly called you directly and said, can you please just shut up? Because I know there was more to that conversation than what you're putting on. But this is where we are. Now you want him to say something else. No. He's going to leave it alone.
Pam Bondi rushing to issue a statement about a college male that's been shoved by a student for wearing an IDF shirt, okay? We don't need the federal government getting involved on something so meaningless. But we might need our federal government when it comes to this, okay? The job of the federal government is to defend us against foreign invaders. And I would pretty much say Emmanuel Macron right now.
Emmanuel Macron is not a foreign invader. If anything, you invaded their country with your nonsense, and no one told you to do an 8-part series about a lie that you cannot scientifically prove with DNA. They will, but it'll be for them to meet their burden, not yours.
Now as being a foreign invader. But no, they're silent. They are silent. And that's a pretty loud silence right now. Because if I remove myself out of the situation, it is crazy that Trump has been silent on this matter, especially after Emmanuel Macron flew and tried to get Trump to shut me up. He knows what Emmanuel Macron is doing and how desperate he is to do it. So why is he allowing this attack on our speech? It's crazy.
No, it's not. What's crazy is the fact that, Candace, it seems like you and your attorneys are trying to stall. So there's some updates to the lawsuit, speaking of it all. So let's see here. As always, I give you guys the case ID number. N as in Nancy, 25, C as in Candace, -07-194. And we're going to go down. You guys see the parties here associated with the case. You got the Macrons, Brian E. Farnan, Michael J. Farnan. Then you got Candace in her individual capacity, in her professional capacity with her LLC, Georgetown Inc., and then, of course, the sheriffs that are responsible for making sure service is done. And then you have Candace and her attorneys. Watch out. And you have the judge is Sheldon Rennie. All right. That's the judge on the case. So I've gone through this a few times, and I always try to, give you guys the latest information. So let's start with the fact that because, remember she said she was not going to seek a dismissal, and then she did. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember when she said on Tucker Carlson, no, I will not be seeking a dismissal. And then the first thing they went and did was file the motion to dismiss. Defendant's motion to dismiss, because Candace is defended in this case. Yeah, they filed a motion to dismiss. Why are they doing that? So, because she kept doubling down, the Macron said, you know what? We're going to have to amend our complaint because she keeps going. And see, this is one of the reasons why, Trump might not want to get involved with this at this point. Because it will never end, Candace. You don't know how to listen to anyone. When he told you, can you cut it out? You failed to do that. Why do you want him to keep telling you, like you're a child, to shut up? If you won't even listen to your own attorneys that I am sure has told you, can you stop purporting that to be a fact when it's your opinion? You won't listen to them. I don't know why they haven't dropped you by now, because they're going to lose like hell. All these videos she's still making, her lashing out, still talking about, you're not suing me because I say you were a man. They don't care about your semantics, your word salad in court. You're going to piss that judge off, and your attorneys know that. And I hope that the judge reprimands them if they dare get into that courtroom and to try to play word salad and semantics with the judge because of you, Candace. It will be all your fault. You're a grown woman with 4 children and a husband that you barely talk about or see or anything. Why don't you have him on your show? This obsession you've been doing with Charlie Kirk is overwhelming. Why don't you have your husband on the show to break it all up? Or here's another one. Why don't you bring Erica Kirk on your show and have a conversation with her? Sit down and ask her questions, how she feels. She's the widow here. What's the problem between you two? We're all curious. You damn sure is not listening when it comes to this Macron case. Well, maybe you'll listen to anything else. I doubt it. So the amended complaint was filed on September 26th from the Macrons, Brian E. Farner being their representative here, docketed on September 30th. And then you guys see here, October 3rd, stipulation from Catherine Mowry. That is Candace's attorney. Counselor Mowry, why don't you tell your client to stop calling Brigitte Macron a man as a fact? Are you not able to give your client legal counsel and wisdom and tell her to shut up? Because the president of the United States of America could not do that. Maybe you can. This is not about free speech. This is about her being defamatory, which is why you people are in court right now. So don't go to court trying to explain word salad and semantics to that judge. He's not trying to hear that nonsense. And Catherine Mowry, you know that. You know the judge will not be in the mood for that when he sees all these videos your client keeps making. So there's a stipulation date docketed October 7th. Stipulation and proposed order governing deadline to respond to the amended complaint October 30th. So they're asking for extra time, seems like, to respond. Is that what I'm gathering here? Stipulation and proposed order governing the deadline to respond to the amended complaint October 30th. And of course, on October 7th, the order was signed by Judge Sheldon Rennie. Order date docketed October 8th, signed by Sheldon Rennie. So ordered. Stipulation and proposed order governing deadline to respond to the amended complaint October 30th. So basically, they were given an extension. Normally, you would have like 20, 25 days or something like that from the date that the amended complaint was filed, the docketed, which was September 30th. And they are asking for the response to be amended to the response be given, granted for October 30th for them to respond to that amended complaint. Are they stalling this case or what? I mean, why is it taking you out? You guys are only responding to the amended portions of the complaint. You shouldn't need extra time to do that. So hopefully this order governing deadline to respond, it is based on the standard time frame based on court rule that you are given to respond and not asking for it to be extended or prolonged, because you're only having to respond to the portions of the amended complaint that you have not responded to thus far from the original. So if it's like 2 added on, I think it was the first was like over 20 complaints that were made in the actual lawsuit filing. or 20 charges, 20 allegations. I don't know if they added on 3 or 4, but they definitely added on the one where she doubled down and said, "Oh, you're not suing me because, I accuse you of being born a man," which you are. You're born male. She's doubling down on this. So that's definitely one incident. So they should only be responding to the newest additions to the complaint. And what's taking so long to get to this discovery phase? Because that's what Candace really wanted. When is the hearing on the motion to dismiss going to be scheduled? I don't see that here. I want to see a hearing scheduled on this motion to dismiss. Stop stalling. Candace, tell you and your attorneys, stop stalling. You said you would not file a dismissal either way, and you did, and you lied about it, and none of your supporters, 5 million subscribers over there on Candace's YouTube channel, and none of you can ask her or demand a response from her as to why she lied to you all about not seeking a dismissal. None of you can ask her about that. This happened before, unfortunately, Charlie Kirk passed away. None of you demanded answers then. When this motion to dismiss was docketed on September 14th, none of you asked her, "Candace, why did you file a motion to dismiss?" Did she ever give you a response? I think Candace is stalling. I believe that Candace is also using the death of Charlie Kirk to hide behind this lawsuit, to hide away from it, because she knows once they present scientific evidence, which is what the Macrons plan on doing, that it's going to end her career. Candace, you chose to stake your professional career on this, and that's what you get. And now the chickens are coming home to roost, and you're about to have your professional career at stake. Stop saying people are trying to bankrupt you. You brought this upon yourself, Candace. This is all your fault. And that's all I have for this video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate all of you all. Hit the like button and subscribe to the Lady Luck Club. Let's bring down that 68% down to 10% and have everybody subscribed. If you're enjoying this content, hit the like button. Keep these videos in the algorithm, because I'm keeping my foot on Candace's neck. And I'm doing it the best way I know how, that I enjoy doing, through the legal route. Because Candace, you're the one that brought this lawsuit upon yourself. You could have just stopped lying about her being born a man, but whatever. Or left it at your opinion. But after the many times they've tried to get her to correct the record, she failed to do it. So this reckless disregard for the truth, Candace, they will meet their burden. And it's going to be laughable. All right. You guys, make sure you check the description of the video for the Dr. Squatch products, the soap, deodorant, and all of the great toiletries and make purchase. And that would help towards the channel by the commission that we receive here in the LLC. Thank you all so much once again. Share the video. And until the next one, Lady Luck Club out.